Okay, so let me explain this too for my brother. So, this puzzle, right, I got because it was donated to the library for free, and there's too many pieces in it for them to rent out in their puzzle program, which they have. You can check puzzles out from the library, y'all. But not with 1,000 pieces, and because people lose those pieces, okay. But this one, some ghetto ass people like my Polish family would do, have cut out the missing pieces, and there's a lot of them, and painted them and stuff. But I mean, they're not exact fit, and they're really frustrating, right, to work with. But it still works. Then the puzzle looks great, okay. But I'm never gonna do it again. Graham's never gonna do it again because it was difficult, and not many people will do something like this with you, or want to do it all by themselves, especially with those ghetto ass like Polish pieces. Not a lot of people would appreciate that and love it. My brother, also Polish, also would really enjoy doing this puzzle. Would never in a million years do it with me in the room or the house or with Graham's. That would drive him nuts. But to have it and do it on his own time, a little bit here and there, he would enjoy, especially those ghetto ass handcrafted pieces. It would remind him of our childhood and my family stuff, and he would appreciate that. Okay. That said, when I got recruited in 7th grade, I wanted to take drama class and be like Clarissa Explains It All. That was my favorite TV show back then. And if I ever make it famous someday, I want Melissa Joan Hart to play me on TV, which is really funny because Martinez married a girl and she looks just like that. That said, they at that point, I didn't have control over what classes I took and things I did anymore. And so one of the first things they made me do is withdraw from drama and take technology instead. And I had to make a clock. That was my first assignment. And there's that jigsaw to do that, the sculpting and the edging and all that stuff. And I am very clumsy, and I fall and I trip and I break stuff a lot. And it just seemed like not a good idea to me to put my fingers or anything near any kind of blade on a motor. So I got Phil McGrogan from across the street to take the class too, and he did all my jigsaw work for me. And then the Hickeys next door to us bought a jigsaw for their basement, and Mrs. Hickey made all those Christmas decorations that I have that are made out of wood, the snowmen and the Santa Clauses and the words and the little presents, all that stuff came from her. And I did sit down there with her and watch and learn how to do it, and do it safely a few times, just so that I could go to school and have him help me with my clock doing that. And then I did that to kind of make up for it, and I didn't know how to do it in a safe environment. But I would never, that's not my thing, right? It was just, and my brother knows that, so he would see that card and he'd fucking laugh his ass off and be like, oh yeah, you're taking art classes at the community, ha ha ha. Because I'm like, I had another assignment one time, they asked me to paint something, and I got that sword and that shield at the Renaissance Festival, and I painted it with nail polish, and I brought that in and turned it in, and they were like, this is your painting? And I was like, you weren't specific. And they were like, well, okay, it counts, But my brother would get that, and so he would laugh his fucking ass off. Also, in my family, we don't do presents for adults or people, and like the kids, yeah, but not for birthdays or Christmas presents, stuff like that. So it's perfectly socially acceptable in my family for me not to get my mom a birthday gift next week, but when I show up to have this for Jake instead, because I never get him, we never get each other anything, and that would be like the right thing to do. The one caveat Graham said to me was that I had to put the edge pieces in a separate bag because that's how I received it, and it's the right thing to do, sort out the edge pieces and put them in a separate bag. And so I'm going to do that for Jake. So that's one thing. And then this picture I had cut out, I was going to send it to K2, and we had a long conversation about that. Like, she wanted to stay with the puzzle, and she nailed me on it. She came over first, where's the picture? Why is it in so, she knew, but she said I can send it to K2. And then, because Uncle Jake's eyesight and stuff would be good enough to work off of the box, he would be fine with that. And he's kind of like me, and he thinks like using a map, as Grams calls it, is kind of like cheating. And we do lots of puzzles together, so we know that. Or she can photocopy it and give him the photocopy one and send this one to K2, which I thought she might want to hang on her wall or something because it says, Polish or polish and waxing on there. And we have an inside joke about wax on, wax off, and we're Polish. And that way, too, it kind of gives her and Uncle Jake a link and stuff. So that's the plan with all this. And there's a lot to explain, but it's important to me.